Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Walmart exclusive Spider-Man the Animated Series Cel-Shaded Spider-Man figure. So, this is an exciting one. I know it's been a while since I've done a review. I had, mini vacation, went to Disneyland for Christmas, and then New Year's came up and I was sick in between that time. Still not feeling 100%, but I wanted to get back going into doing some videos, and this is a really exciting one because here we have the Spider-Man figure. Now, I had gotten one a while back, but I didn't open it because I wanted to wait till I got a second one before I opened it. And thanks to my buddy Kellen, he actually sent me one as a Christmas gift. So Merry Christmas, thank you, Kellen, appreciate it. Link in the video description below for his Twitch channel. Make sure to check him out. But he sent it to me, so now I have actually one to open, and it is awesome because it is one of the best Spider-Man figures. So if you watched my review of the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends 3-pack, I absolutely love this Spider-Man, but it didn't have that bright blue. And I had talked about it in my Mayfex Spider-Man review, is that, hey, if we can get a Legends figure with like this blue color and red, it would be almost perfect. And we have that. Almost. Granted, he has some cell shading, and it is the Spider-Man the Animated Series design, so you can see like right here in the front, the red comes kind of narrow, but it still is a really good Spider-Man figure, even if you don't consider it, the cartoon version or anything. It's got the cell shading into it, which I know a lot of people don't like. I'm not the biggest fan of, but Hasbro, in my opinion, does do it a little bit better because it's subtle in the cell shading, whereas a lot of cell shading will be a lot of black colors. They kind of went with some darker colors that really kind of meshed well with the figure aesthetic. So I'm really excited. So we'll get the Mayfex out of the way. We have a bunch of these Spider-Man. So we have the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends 3-pack. We also had the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man. This is the original, the figure, the body mold that used it. And now we've seen it a couple of times. So we have 3 different Spider-Man figures already now with it, which complements really well with the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man figure. So lots of great Spider-Man figures have come out this year. So here are 4 examples. Granted, 3 of them are essentially the same. They all have different deco, and they all have special places on kind of how you would have it within your collection. So I'm really happy with the way it all came out. So let's get in for a closer look at the card first, then we'll take a look at the figure. Okay, so the beautiful, beautiful card back, the Spider-Man retro figures. This is maybe, essentially, possibly the very last ones, with the ones leading up to it being like Scorpion and the Lizard, Walmart, also a Walmart exclusive figure. But this Spider-Man is just beautiful. I love it, and the fact that it's actually the animated series version of Spider-Man to go with the animated series toy line card back, which is really cool. You can see here it says Web Splat. We get the artwork there on the back of the package. We get a look at that artwork for Spider-Man. The bio reads, bitten by a radioactive spider, mild-mannered Peter Parker becomes the wall-crawling, web-slinging, amazing Spider-Man's Hulk. I absolutely love this figure. I'm super excited. So there is the card. Let's get in for the figure. Okay, so here's an up-close look at the Spider-Man figure, and again, it is truly beautiful. I love the Spider-Man logo there in the front. You can see the cell shading, so we get some dark blue. We do get a little bit of a black line in some of the muscle definition, as you can see there, and then you actually do get it right in the middle there, down that spider logo, which I've seen people post on Facebook saying, hey, did mine come messed up? No, they actually all come with that little line there. And if you look up images from the show, you can see that there was kind of that cell shading look there. On the legs, you can see we get a little bit dark blue there on the right leg, on the left leg, and then here on the right leg on the inner portion of the leg. So it's not too crazy. It is a little subtle. On the arms, though, is where you really see it because you get a lot of the darker blue on the inside there, and you can see a little bit of the darker red there on the forearm. And again, the whole inside of the arm is where you really get that cell shading. And then when you're looking straight at the figure, it's not so bad, but then when you turn that arm, you look at that dark blue, then it's really a whole lot. But it doesn't bother me all that much. A little bit of paint rub there, it looks like. It really doesn't bother me that much. I still really like the lighter blue color with the red. And then because it's this animated series, this really comes narrow here, whereas it'd be a little bit thicker on a comic book version of Spider-Man. But I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. Spider logo on the back actually looks really small, and I think that's because they wanted to get it in between those shoulder blades because of the butterfly joint there. They didn't want to really break it up like here. Well, it looks a little bit larger on this one. Maybe it's because of the black outline on this one that it came out looking that way. I think that's what it was, but they definitely looks like they went a little bit smaller with it. But I'm happy with it. I really like the way it came out looking. Super happy with it. I'm so happy to have, you know, a figure now to represent Spider-Man the animated series, like an official one for the show, which is really cool. Okay, so I want to get an up-close look at the new head sculpt that we have here. So you can see the curvature of the eye lens. That's very specific to Spider-Man the animated series. And one thing that I really liked is they actually clearly defined his nose and his jawline with this head sculpt, whereas that they did not do that previously, so it just felt really flat. That was always my concern with this figure. You know, you get a very wide face and there is no clear definition kind of for his nose and mouth. But here we actually really get that, so you can see, you know, his forehead down to his nose and then in towards his mouth there. And I like that update. I think it looks a lot better. I like the curvature of the eyes because, again, that's very reminiscent of the animated series, as you can see. So I am happy again with the way that came out. In terms of accessories, we get these web effect pieces. Now these came with like some of the Gamerverse figures. I think it was the Spider-Man armor Mark 1. These can just kind of lay in place, or if you like stick it onto something, you'll have to use something to kind of stick it up there, but it could just show kind of him having used his webs and things like that, or you could just put it like on top of somebody, like he kind of webbed them down a little bit. Doesn't work the greatest, but I guess it's better than nothing that he would come with. But we do get all the good hands. So out of the package he comes with fists. We do get thwip hands for him as well, which is great because, you know, we always want to get every hand that we could possibly get for Spider-Man figures. So we got the thwip hands and we have the wall crawling hands, as you could see here. So a full set of hands, which is great. So now let's see how this guy moves. Even though we've seen it twice before, he moves great. Okay, so Spider-Man, he can look all the way up, which is great. He can look all the way down, which is awesome. You can get a full rotation in that head. Not a whole lot of pivot, unfortunately. The shoulder you can get to go up and straight out like so. You get a full rotation in that shoulder. We do have the butterfly joint, so you can get the butterfly to go back only so far. I feel like should be able to get it to go back a little bit more than that. Maybe not. I guess that was kind of it. So not a whole lot going back. We can come cross body. We can do some. I don't know if this is one of the ones that people have made some adjustments to. I'm not comfortable cracking these pieces apart and doing things like that. But that's, you know, up to you guys. It could potentially be an option there. We have the upper bicep swivel in there. We have a double jointed pinless elbow, which gives you that much bend there, which is awesome. Wrists swivel and they do hinge. They all have the standard horizontal hinge on there. We have the inverted ab crunch and diaphragm joint, so he can pivot to his left that much. He can pivot to his right that much. He can go back just on that diaphragm that much. He can come forward very little on that diaphragm, but you have that, again, that inverted ab, so you can crunch forward that much, which isn't a whole lot, but with the hips you can get a whole lot of movement. You can go back that much. The legs go out that far apart. You can't kick forward very high. Leg goes back ever so slightly. Upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee, which gives you solid bend there. You have a calf swivel in there. Foot hinges all the way down. Hinge up. Ankle pivot. Peg holes at the bottom of the feet. And again, when you combine the ab crunch, the diaphragm, and the hips, you can get him to bend down an insane amount, which is really good and more than any of the other Spider-Man figures that we have, including the Renew Your Vows, which cannot bend down nearly as much as you can see, which is kind of crazy. Bonk. Okay, so for the Cel-Shaded Spider-Man figures, we have now two. We got the Venom, which was a PulseCon exclusive in 2021. And then we have now this Spider-Man. So the 2-packs are going to become the VHS style packaging. They're going to be 2 packs exclusive to Hasbro Pulse in 2023. The first one being the symbiote suit and Carnage, with the symbiote suit actually being the Renew Your Vows figure and not this figure, which is kind of interesting because if it's just the symbiote suit, you know, over the regular suit, why didn't they just use this figure in the black costume? They went with the Renew Your Vows, which I think then gives a little bit of a better size comparison between him and Venom. I actually think this Spider-Man figure is probably a little too small compared to this Venom, or the Venom is actually just a little too big, I would say. So that's kind of unfortunate. Although in the show that Peter Parker was kind of stocky, right? He wasn't like a scrawny guy. He kind of was built a little bit bigger. It's just the way he was drawn, I guess. So it's just kind of how that worked out. But yeah, this Venom is huge compared to this Spider-Man. I think a little bit not at size accurate to the show. And here are our Spider-Man figures, all on the same body mold, all have different shades of blue, or I guess this would be kind of more of a black color. The reds aren't exactly the same, but they're not too far off from each other. The Amazing Fantasy definitely has the brightest red of them, and then it kind of throws it off because he has like dark gray or blackish, dark gray web lines versus the other two, which actually have black web lines, so it kind of throws off the aesthetic there as well. Okay, and that is my review of the Spider-Man the Animated Series Walmart exclusive retro card back figure. I'm very happy with it. Again, thank you and big shout out to Kellen. Again, link to his Twitch channel in the video description below. Thank you so much for sending this out my way so I can have an opener, and he just looks awesome, and I am very, very, very happy to have it. You guys let me know down in the comments below if you guys were able to get a hold of it, if you found it in store, or if your pre-order had come in. Let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.